8.3 Riley Wood. I chose the sixth fitness test to suit Nat's needs as a rugby player. I talked through with him the requirements of his position in the team and the areas that he would most like to improve. To look at his speed, we completed a 35-metre sprint test. Nat will need to be able to sprint fast when chasing an opposition player or running with the ball. This test uses a standardised procedure and does not require much equipment to carry out, making it a cheap and easy option. However, the test does use a stopwatch to measure the participants' times, so the results may be slightly inaccurate, but can still give a very useful insight into the participants' fitness. To measure Nat's muscular strength, we completed a hand grip dynamometer test and a 1 rep max test using a weight bar. Nat will need high muscular strength when making a tackle or driving an opposition player back in a scrum or ruck. Both of these tests are very simple and require little equipment, however may lack ecological validity in terms of rugby performance. Although both tests can give an indicator of the participant's overall body muscular strength, neither are sport-specific movements for Nat. To measure Nat's power, we conducted a standing vertical jump test. Nat will need high levels of power, especially in his legs, to enable him to drive through opponents during a tackle, scrum, or ruck. The standing vertical jump test is suitable for Nat as it gives a clear indicator of the strength of his legs, is simple to set up and conduct, and can be used for multiple different purposes. In this scenario, we use the test to gain a measurement of Nat's power, but the test could also be used to track his progress were he to follow an improvement schedule. Nat will need good flexibility to enable him to reach the ball when it has been grounded, and to reach around running opponents to make a tackle. To measure his flexibility, I had Nat complete a sit and reach test. This test requires very little equipment and setup time, so is useful in this regard. The test does, however, only measure the flexibility of the participant's waist or hips. This is sport specific to some extent, as Nat will need flexibility throughout his whole body during a match, but the test cannot provide measurements for the flexibility of the participant's other joints and muscles. The final test I had Nat conduct was the Illinois agility test. Nat will need good agility to evade opponents when running with the ball and will need good agility to try and tackle a moving opponent. The Illinois agility test requires a slightly more complex setup than some of the more basic tests and a little bit more space too. The test is a very useful test for agility in rugby though, as the participants are forced to move quickly in all directions and make sharp turns. Here you can see me administering the fitness test to Nat and recording his data. For all 6 tests, I had Nat complete 3 attempts in order to gain an average performance score. Displayed in this table are Nat's average scores for all 6 tests. For the 35-metre sprint test, Nat clocked a score slower than the average for his age and gender. This is evidently a weakness in Nat's rugby performance, as he will be slower to get away from opponents or to chase them down. To improve his sprint speed, Nat should work on improving the power in his legs by doing leg workouts in the gym, alongside practicing his sprint technique with regular sprint training, with and without a rugby ball. For the hand grip strength test, Nat's score was around average. This is neither a strength or weakness of his performance, but could be improved with regular workouts in the gym. This will enable him to use more force in his rugby performance. For the 1 rep max squat test, Nat produced a score higher than average, which is positive. Although this contradicts the hand grip dynamometer test result, this suggests that Nat has better muscular strength in his legs than in his arms. He should take part in regular physical activity, such as rugby, to ensure this strength in his legs is maintained. When Nat completed the standing vertical jump test, he recorded a score lower than average. This is clearly a weakness in his fitness performance and will impact his rugby performance. To improve on his power, especially in his legs, Nat should complete leg-specific workouts in the gym and ensure he is completing regular exercise. Nat's measurement for the sit and reach flexibility test was slightly lower than average, meaning this may be a weakness in his rugby performance. To improve his flexibility, Nat should complete a stretch-based routine every morning or evening. He should also take part in a regular stretch-based exercise class, such as yoga. For the final test, Nat scored a very poor score in the Illinois agility test. This is very clearly a weakness in his fitness and will no doubt have an impact on his rugby performance. To improve his agility, Nat should combine the previously recommended stretches and yoga with a gym routine to improve his leg power. This will enable him to cover ground quicker while also being able to make sharp turns quickly, which will benefit his rugby performance massively.